My best friend faked my death online for Instagram likes, so I exposed her lies to everyone. A year later, she's back, crying at my doorstep begging me to fix her ruined reputation. I met Claire in ninth grade during one of those awkward group icebreakers in our high school gym. She had this big curly hair, a chipped black nail polish aesthetic, and a laugh that cracked through the awkward silence like a crowbar. She was the kind of girl who walked into a room and instantly made it her stage. Me? I was just happy to be part of the background, to ride shotgun in her whirlwind. We got close fast. Sleepovers turned into shared diaries. Weekend coffee runs into late-night existential conversations on the high school bleachers. She told me everything about her dad's gambling, her older sister who ran away at 17, the time she tried weed behind the 7-Eleven. In return, I gave her my loyalty. No matter what. By college, we were inseparable. I was studying communications. She bounced through majors like a kid trying on Halloween costumes, psych, art history, even funeral services for a semester. Eventually, she dropped out to build her brand, which meant endless selfies, yoga pose posts, and stories that started with not to be dramatic. But I stayed loyal. I helped take pictures, edited captions, gave her ideas for her videos, even lent her $600 once when her influencer gig didn't pay out. The first red flag should have been the podcast. She started a podcast called Grief is Gorgeous, about transforming tragedy into art. I thought it was going to be about her family stuff. But then she started talking about me. Not by name, but the stories were mine. My mom's miscarriage. My panic attacks in junior year. All packaged into some flowery tragedy that she never even lived through. When I brought it up, she said, "It's not about you. It's about collective grief. Stop being so possessive of pain." I should have walked then. But trauma-bonded friendships are sticky like molasses. You convince yourself that loyalty is the same thing as love. It was a Tuesday afternoon in March when I found out I'd died. I was working from home. A friend from high school, Jake, sent me a screenshot over Instagram. WTF is this? It was a black and white photo of me from sophomore year, hoodie, solemn face, captioned with "Rest in peace to one of the most beautiful souls I ever knew. Gone too soon. I can't believe you're really gone, L. Broken heart dove hashtag RIP hashtag gone but never forgotten hashtag mental health awareness. I thought it was a joke. Like some weird viral trend. But then I saw her name. Claire posted it. She tagged old friends, influencers, even local mental health nonprofits. Hundreds of comments. So sorry for your loss. I didn't know her well, but she seemed so sweet. DM me if you need support, Claire. I went cold. I called her. No answer. I posted a story from my account, just my face holding up a sign that said, "Not dead. Not missing. Just confused." At Claire, the doc creator cared to explain. Within an hour, people started messaging me like crazy. A few deleted their comments. Some tried to backpedal. Others were furious. One girl wrote, "You scared me to death. I cried at my desk." Claire finally called me back at 1 a.m. L. I was going to tell you. It was a campaign to raise awareness about suicide and how people only care after you're gone. You don't get it. It was supposed to be a social experiment. I swear, I felt something snap in my chest. Not heartbreak. Not rage. Just disbelief so deep it echoed. You used me as a prop in your awareness stunt? She didn't apologize. She didn't even sound guilty. I thought you'd be honored. After Claire dropped that nuclear-level excuse, I thought you'd be honored. I hung up. I didn't scream, didn't curse. Just a silent tap on the red button. Because what the hell do you even say to someone who faked your death and thought it was a compliment? My phone blew up the next morning. Friends, classmates, a few extended family members who'd seen the post through mutuals. My aunt from Florida left a voicemail sobbing. I hadn't spoken to her in 5 years. A guy I ghosted in college sent me flowers. Claire, meanwhile, doubled down. She posted a long Instagram story about art imitating life and how she wanted people to feel the weight of loss before it's too late. She included fake DMs she said I had sent her before I passed, talking about feeling invisible, lost, and hopeless. She fabricated messages, signed my name to them. I confronted her in person, drove to her apartment in a fury I didn't know my body could contain. I pounded on her door so hard I'm surprised I didn't leave a dent. When she opened it, she looked like she was about to go live, ring light on, makeup perfect, oversized hoodie that said empathy is everything in baby pink letters. "You're alive," she said with this fake-ass grin like I'd just popped out of a surprise party cake. "No shit," I said, stepping inside without asking. Her living room looked like an influencer crime scene. Candles, a whiteboard with buzzwords, virality, shock value, authenticity. There was even a mood board that had a cutout of my face under the word legacy. I went off. I shouted, I cried, I think I even threw one of her vision boards across the room. She tried to calm me down by saying, "I just wanted to show people how much you meant to me. You never saw how loved you were. You showed them by pretending I was dead?" She gave the most twisted excuse I've ever heard. You always said people didn't see you. Now they do. And now they care. I gave you visibility. Like she was my damn marketing manager. I remember saying, "You're not my best friend. You're a parasite with a ring light." Then I left. That night, I did what I never wanted to do. I exposed her. I posted a long, detailed thread on Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, and Instagram stories with screenshots, receipts, voice notes, everything. The original death post. The fake DMs. My call logs showing I never texted those things. The voicemail from Claire telling me it's a social experiment. I ended it with, "I'm not dead, but our friendship is." She used my life for likes. She used my silence as her stage. And now she wants applause for grieving a death she invented. The backlash was instant. People unfollowed her in droves. Comments flooded her feed. Some reposted the thread on Reddit and TikTok. Her sponsors pulled out within 2 days. One of them, a wellness brand, even DM'd me apologizing and saying they had no idea. Claire tried to do damage control, claimed she was the real victim of online harassment, that she was just trying to start a conversation about mental health. She deleted her podcast episodes. She posted a healing through art photo dump with a long caption about being misunderstood. No one bought it. Her follower count tanked from 148K to under 30K in a week. I wish I could say I felt triumphant. But I didn't. I felt hollow. Humiliated. Like I'd been peeled open for everyone to gawk at. I didn't ask for any of this. I just wanted my best friend not to be a liar. After the dust settled, I started therapy. I didn't trust anyone. I'd look at text messages and wonder if they were secretly collecting my words to use against me. I dropped off social media for a while, cut my friend list by half, blocked Claire on everything. That was supposed to be the end. And it was. For almost exactly a year. Then, 3 days ago, I opened my front door and there she was. Claire. Standing in the rain, mascara running, hoodie soaked, and shaking like she was in withdrawal. "I need your help," she whispered. "They all think I'm a monster." She started crying before I could shut the door. I stood there, frozen, 1,000 emotions colliding in my chest. She said, "You're the only one who can fix this." There's this moment when someone who hurt you shows up at your doorstep and you realize they still think they have the right. Claire stood there, dripping and desperate, whispering like we were in some tragic rom-com climax instead of the wreckage she created. And maybe in her mind, she really did think this was her redemption arc. That I was supposed to let her in, hand her a towel, and offer her a cup of tea while she monologued about growth and trauma and the hate she's endured. But I didn't move. I just stared at her. The silence between us was louder than her sobs. "Please," she said again, her voice cracking like she rehearsed it. "I have nothing left." That line should have hit me like a gut punch. But it didn't. because a year ago I had nothing left. She made sure of that. Still, because I'm apparently cursed with some leftover empathy, I let her in. Not because she deserved it, but because I needed to hear what kind of twisted logic she had cooked up after 12 months of radio silence. She sat on the edge of my couch like she was afraid it would bite her. Her mascara smeared in these raccoon trails, and she wiped her nose on the sleeve of her hoodie. I offered her a tissue. I don't know why. I thought a year was enough time for things to calm down, she said. But no one will talk to me. Every job interview ends with them Googling me. I can't even get hired at a dog daycare. I blinked. So you came here because you want me to fix your reputation? Claire looked up like I'd just solved the riddle. Yes. I mean, not fix it exactly. Just clarify. Tell people I didn't mean harm. That it was taken out of context. Out of context? You faked my death, Claire. I know. And I've said I'm sorry. No, I cut in, you never did. Not really. You gave me excuses, TED Talk sound bites, and then disappeared. She looked stunned. Like she genuinely believed her vanishing act was some kind of punishment for her. Then came the pivot. Claire's face hardened just a little. That edge I knew from our teenage years. The one that showed up when she didn't get her way. You don't get it, she said. You always had it easy. People liked you without trying. You never had to hustle for attention or build a brand. I needed that post to go viral. My agent dropped me. I was losing followers. You don't understand what it's like to feel irrelevant. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So your solution, I said slowly, was to kill me off? Like I was just a disposable storyline to boost engagement. She scoffed. Scoffed. It wasn't supposed to get that big. But people responded so emotionally. And you? Me? I snapped. You could have just stayed quiet, she said, straight-faced. Let the campaign run. Maybe DM me to ask me to stop. But no, you humiliated me. That was it. That was her truth. She didn't come for forgiveness. She came because I'd ruined her being the victim of her own lie. I stood up. Claire, get out. She blinked. Wait, I didn't mean it like. Out. She looked around like the walls were suddenly unfamiliar. But what about us? We were like sisters. No, I was your sister. You were a user. And I'm done letting you write chapters in a story you don't even belong in. She stood slowly, dragging her tote bag across the floor like it was some pathetic symbol of her new struggle. As she stepped outside, she looked back and said, You'll regret this. One day, you'll need someone too. I didn't even close the door on her. I just turned and walked away. That night, I posted a single story, a black screen with white text that said, Monsters don't knock. But they do cry when the spotlight moves. Claire sent me an email the next day titled, A Final Plea. It included a Google Doc of a drafted apology she wanted to post, if I'd be willing to endorse it. She said she'd even tag me as a collaborator. Like this was a brand deal. I didn't respond. I forwarded it to my therapist instead. She said it's classic narcissistic manipulation wrapped in performative guilt. And she's right. Because people like Claire don't really care about the damage they do. Only about how it looks. A week after Claire's soggy doorstep performance and her Oscar-worthy final plea email, I blocked her on everything for the second and final time. Gmail, Instagram, LinkedIn, Venmo, even Pinterest. If she could breathe through it, I blocked it. Because I realized something important. She wasn't sorry for what she did, just sorry people saw her for what she is. Claire didn't miss me. She missed the access I gave her. The proximity to a person people liked. My stories, my vulnerability, my pain, all that had value to her, as long as it made her look deeper, more emotional, more engaged. And when I became inconvenient, when my anger and truth didn't fit her redemption arc, she tried to co-opt that too. So I stayed quiet. Not out of defeat. Out of power. And then the emails started coming in, not from her, but from people we used to know. High school friends. Some college acquaintances. A couple of the mutuals she hadn't burned to ash yet. People saying they were sorry. That they believed her at first. That they shared her posts. That they messaged condolences instead of fact-checking anything. And you know what? I didn't hate them for it. That's the most twisted part. Claire knew how to manipulate. She crafted grief like a product launch. A soft black and white filter. A few out-of-context screenshots. A tragically poetic caption. People eat that shit up online. Grief is trendy when it's curated just right. Especially when the person's too dead to correct it. One girl DM'd me saying she reposted Claire's post about my passing with a crying emoji and a broken heart, right after uploading a selfie in a tube top with the caption "Summer Sad Black Heart." Like I was a goddamn aesthetic. But here's the unexpected twist. I started getting invited to panels. No joke. Mental health awareness organizations, journalism classes, even a podcast or two reached out. They wanted me to speak about being fake dead online, about digital ethics, about viral grief. One moderator literally pitched it as the girl who came back from the dead. I declined. I'm not your content, either. But I did start writing. For myself. Little essays. Fragments of what happened. Reflections on how betrayal by someone close feels more like a haunting than a heartbreak. You don't get clean breaks. You get echoes. Songs you both loved. Inside jokes that now feel like landmines. You get that feeling of being watched, like they're still trying to shape your story even after they're gone. One day, I posted a short piece titled "The Girl Who Was Buried Alive in Someone Else's Narrative" on a small Medium account under a pseudonym. No names, no callouts. Just raw truth. It blew up. People messaged me saying they'd experienced similar betrayals, best friends who told their secrets for clout, siblings who used their mental health struggles to score sympathy online, even influencers who posted hospital selfies of relatives without permission. Turns out, what Claire did wasn't unique. Just extreme. But the idea behind it, that real pain can be repackaged and sold for attention, is horrifyingly common. I didn't have to call her out again. The truth already had a body count. Eventually, Claire rebranded. Of course she did. A new account under a soft pseudonym. Pastel colors. Wellness vibes. A bio that said, "Healing in real-time herb." She posted a lot of abstract poetry and vague captions about the ones who weaponize silence. I didn't follow her. Someone else sent it to me. I muted the account. And life moved on. I got a new job. Made new friends. I stopped second-guessing every text or thinking every kindness came with a hidden invoice. And I started trusting myself again. That was the biggest thing she stole. Not just my name. My gut. She made me doubt every instinct. Every boundary I tried to build. Every emotion that felt too much. But the truth is, my gut was right. She was dangerous. And ignoring that wouldn't have made me a better friend. Just a better target. So no, I never took her apology public. I never helped her clean up her mess. Because sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself is nothing at all. About 5 months after she rebranded into her soft focus wellness phase, pastels, fake vulnerability, healing is messy vibes, I figured Claire would stay in her curated corner of the internet, preaching crystals and inner child work while pretending she didn't once fake her best friend's death. I was wrong. Because of course I was. One night, I got a DM from a burner account. The profile picture was a white lotus flower. The message? "Hey, I just thought you should know. Claire's doing a podcast interview next week. And she's talking about you." I didn't respond right away. My hands shook a little as I reread the message. I clicked the account. It was empty except for a single post, a quote about truth always coming to light. I don't know who sent it. Maybe someone who used to be close to her. Maybe someone watching from a distance like me. I found the podcast. It was small, hosted by a life coach named Harmony with a YouTube channel full of ASMR voiceovers about trauma bonding and spiritual detachment. I watched the preview clip. Claire sat there in a beige sweater, hair down in soft waves, the ring light turning her into an oil painting of false serenity. She was my best friend, Claire whispered, voice quivering. Losing her was like losing a piece of myself. But it wasn't just grief, it was the betrayal. She came back from the dead just to destroy me. My breath left my lungs like a punch. Claire was still spinning it. Now, the story was that I'd been in on it all along. That we planned the fake death together, but I turned on her to get famous for surviving her betrayal. She called it a duality project gone wrong. She said she had the DMs to prove it, but wouldn't show them out of respect. The audacity of that level of delusion should have made me laugh. But it didn't. It made me feel sick. Because some people would believe her. Enough to matter. Enough to maybe reopen wounds I'd finally closed. So I made a choice. Not to fight fire with fire, but to flood the whole damn stage. I sent an email to the podcast host. Not threatening, not dramatic, just the truth. I attached documents, the original fake death post, a timeline of events, screenshots of my DM conversations before Claire's story broke, my therapist's statement confirming I was in sessions during that time, even the metadata from my "I'm not dead" post proving it was created in reaction, not as a setup. Harmony never replied. But 2 days later, the episode vanished from the schedule. Claire posted a vague story about toxic forces trying to silence her voice. Her comment section turned against her almost instantly. People asked questions she couldn't answer. Where are the receipts? Why did Elle post proof the day after you claimed she died? Why did you use her real name without permission? Claire spiraled. Started posting angry notes app screenshots. Said people were weaponizing truth against her healing. Claimed I had influencer envy. That one made me snort out loud. But the damage was done. The interview never resurfaced. The rebrand? Collapsed. She tried to pivot again, selling handmade candles with healing affirmations. But no one bought them. Literally. That same month, her old IG account got permanently removed for violating community guidelines. I don't know who reported it. Maybe the internet did what it sometimes miraculously does, self-corrected. And then? Silence. No new accounts. No podcast revivals. No cryptic stories. Claire was gone. Not dead gone. Just irrelevant. Which, for someone like her, is probably worse. A month after the final implosion, I walked into a local bookstore for a poetry reading. One of the speakers read a piece called "To the Friend Who Dug My Grave and Cried at the Funeral." The entire room held its breath. When she finished, she looked straight at me from the stage. Later, I found her outside smoking. That was about Claire, she said before I even opened my mouth. I followed both of you. I saw it all. I didn't say anything then. But I'm saying it now. You weren't crazy. You weren't cruel. You were right. That night, for the first time since the whole thing started, I slept without nightmares.